Dead men tell no tales, but their ships speak volumes. Welcome to the Cursed Compass, where we explore the darkest maritime mysteries.
In November 1955, a merchant vessel named the MV Joyita was found drifting alone in the South Pacific. This map shows the ship's intended 270-mile route from Apia to the Tokelau Islands. But the vessel was discovered here, drifting north of Vanuatu, more than 600 miles off course. The ship was completely deserted. All 25 passengers and crew members had vanished without a trace. The recovery team found the Joyita in terrible shape. The vessel was taking on water, partially submerged and listing heavily to its port side. Standard maritime logic suggests an evacuation due to sinking, yet the Joyita remained buoyantly stable. This leaves a haunting contradiction. 25 people traded a floating hull for the lethal vulnerability of the open ocean. The Joyita was heavily modified for its trading routes. Its lower holds were insulated with 640 cubic feet of dense cork for refrigeration. On this specific trip, the cargo manifest included a massive secondary source of buoyancy. This photo shows the type of 45-gallon oil drums the ship was carrying, 80 of them, all completely empty, sealed tight, and stored in the hold. If a fractured pipe flooded the engine room, the displacement of the cork and empty drums meant the ship couldn't sink. Captain Miller reminded his crew the vessel was unsinkable. Even completely flooded, it would permanently bob near the surface. Fleeing a guaranteed unsinkable ship for the lethal open waters of the Pacific violates basic human survival instincts. Whatever the passengers encountered on that deck was far more terrifying than drowning. The forensic reality of the deck tells a story that the initial search and rescue mission couldn't see. The ship's radio was entirely functional and found tuned to the International Marine Distress Channel, yet no surrounding ship or land station ever received a call for help. Investigators quickly discovered why. The copper wire connecting the radio set to the aerial had been intentionally severed. To ensure the crew wouldn't spot the damage, a fresh layer of white paint was brushed over the gap to camouflage the break. On the deck above, recovery teams found a doctor's bag left out in the open. Next to it lay a scalpel and 4 specific lengths of heavily blood-stained bandages. Below deck, the engine room was a picture of desperation. The starboard engine was smothered under mattresses, and essential parts were entirely missing, indicating the ship had plunged into the night relying on a single, failing motor. The combination of disabled communications, smothered engines, and hidden sabotage suggests a targeted effort to isolate the ship and its occupants in the dead of night. The press and local authorities quickly pitched their theories. They blamed insurance fraud, a sudden mutiny among the crew, or even an attack by remnants of Japanese World War II forces hiding in the islands. None of those explanations hold up. They completely fail to account for why the ship's logbook, all the navigational equipment, and the captain's personal firearms were systematically removed before the vessel was abandoned. In February 1956, a formal maritime inquiry was held in Apia. The commission ultimately placed the blame squarely on the shoulders of the deceased Captain Miller for setting sail with poor maintenance. But the government's official report contains a glaring anomaly. The commission completely omitted any mention of the blood-soaked medical supplies found on the deck. By scrubbing the medical evidence from the official record, the inquiry focused the blame on the captain's negligence, while leaving the most violent physical clues without any official explanation. After the inquiry wrapped up, the Joyita was auctioned off, repaired, and forced back into service, carrying its dark reputation wherever it docked. Its second life was remarkably brief. Almost immediately upon returning to the water, the ship ran aground again while carrying passengers in the Coral Sea. Bizarre mechanical failures plagued the vessel. During a later trip, the hull began taking on water. When the crew activated the bilge pumps, they discovered the valves had been installed backward, actively pumping ocean water into the hull instead of out. Deemed an unlucky and cursed vessel, the Joyita was finally stripped of its useful equipment. It was left to rot as a forgotten, decaying hulk on a remote beach in Fiji. Decades have passed, yet the human cost remains an open wound. Not a single body, piece of clothing, or missing life raft from the original 25 victims has ever been recovered from the Pacific. The most unsettling detail takes us back to the severed radio buyer. The paint used to camouflage the cut would have required hours to properly dry. That means the camouflage had to be applied before the ship ever left the docks in Apia. The 25 victims didn't sail into a spontaneous disaster at sea. They untied their mooring lines and headed out into the dark with their killer already on board.